Here are 3 steps to feeding your performance horse on a budget. The first step is to feed alfalfa. If you watch any videos of mine, you probably could have guessed that this is the #1 step to feeding a performance horse. However, feeding alfalfa over all other types of hay, mostly grass hays, is going to be a #1 thing that you should do for a performance horse. The main thing that alfalfa brings that a lot of other grass hays don't is, on average, alfalfa has much higher protein than the other grass hays. So by feeding higher protein, that helps repair and recover muscles. So for a performance horse, that is paramount to have this high quality protein for your horse. So that is step 1. Step 2 to feeding your performance horse on a budget is to feed fat over protein. If you are listening to each step along this video, you will be feeding alfalfa, and so you will have a high amount and high quality amount of protein in the horse's diet already. That takes place over needing to have a lot of high calories coming from protein in your concentrated feed. So when you're selecting your feed, if you're already feeding alfalfa, you don't need to feed a feed with as much protein. So instead of that 14 or 16% protein, you might be able to feed a 12% protein feed and feed more fat. So you'll be spending more dollars on feeding fat rather than protein. So you'll be finding a 12% protein, 8% fat, 12% protein, 10% fat, or something comparable to that. The third step to feeding your performance horse on a budget is going to be drop every supplement you have. If you are not feeding a lot of protein and fat out of the alfalfa and the concentrated feed that you have, and you're having to add a supplement, then change the feed that you're feeding. You're going to be better off saving money on buying it in the feed than it would be to adding a fat supplement. It's going to be cheaper that way. So if you're feeding a fat or protein supplement, your horse needs that. I would recommend changing the alfalfa that you feed or changing the concentrated feed that you feed. And if you're feeding a lot of other things, many other supplements on the market are a waste of money. There are some that are important for a horse, but if you're feeding a horse on a budget, those are not going to be important. A lot of water-soluble vitamins and fat-soluble vitamins that you're going to be getting from a lot of supplements that are on the market are already going to be in your feed and your hay, so you don't need them. The horse is just peeing them out. So the third step is to drop all the supplements and forget about them.